to Shady Talk Wednesday. I am your lovely host today on this cloudy, breezy, wheezy, I don't know what to say kind of day it is. But me and my lovely host Simone is here today in the building. Yes, yes. You know what's so crazy, Simone?
What's
I
that?
don't know why I keep having a hard time with the last name, Pelham.
Hmm.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
I don't know why the P looks so different to me.
Mm.
You know how sometimes um, names look like it you're supposed to pronounce it another way, but it sounds another way. So like the P, I don't know, Pelham. But hey, who really uses their last name like that, right? Who really
Exactly.
goes that governor like that? Hello,
Exactly.
and welcome to Shady Talk Wednesday. Yes, me and my lovely co-host Simone is here today. And of course, my lovely co-host had to surprise me with some more birthday celebration. Yes. Shout out to me. I turned 49 on Saturday, and Simone is still celebrating me. She is so sweet, y'all. She got everything that I like. Now, remind you, Simone has introduced me to a wing spot. And when I tell you I have been at the wing spot since, I've been at the wing spot since. And I ain't gonna tell you, she got every wing that she introduced me to that I love. And she bought it here on the show today. She bought me a cake. She bought me some, I think that's what's that, tacos?
Chicken tacos.
Chicken tacos.
Better than the ones we had the other
Okay,
day.
because I told her I was new to trying chicken tacos. Yesterday was my first time trying chicken tacos, and they are excellent. And she even went and got me some more chicken tacos. Listen, you can't ask for a better host. She got me an
Hey,
additional birthday gift that she custom made herself. Let's see. I love
I kind
gifts.
of rushed it in 2 days,
I
but I
love it.
think I did all
Oh,
right.
look at
I think I
this.
did all right.
This is hot. Look, y'all. Oh, it's a no shade but shade hat. Oh, y'all know I'm gonna kill it. And you know what I love about this? Oh, and it got my initials on the back.
Well, it's unique for you. It's your initials for you. The star to
Wow.
let you know that you are a star. And then limited
Wow.
edition. I didn't put the Miss No Shade on it. I just wanted, it's a limited edition just for you. So I just wanted to go with the No Shade. And I kind of did it. I kind of rushed it a little bit. So
No.
is I could have did, a little bit better, but I kind of rushed it a little bit. But nonetheless,
Oh,
I
isn't
wanted to
that
give you
so
something that this is what
sweet?
I do from time to
This is
time.
so sweet. Thank you so much, Mom.
You're very
And she put a
welcome.
star on the back because
You
she
are a
wants me to know
star.
that I am going to be,
A
or I am a
star.
star.
A
I'm going to be a
star.
star.
And the
I,
diamond in the rough. It's a
and a
diamond back
diamond
there
in the
too.
rough.
It's a diamond back there too.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Now, that is so thoughtful. That is so thoughtful. Thank you so much, Simone. This is so cute. I
You're
am
very
definitely going
welcome.
to rock that. And of course, she got me some wine because she know I don't really drink, but she know I will partake in some wine. So I have my cute sip shady wine glass
There you go.
to sip some wine. Mm, cute,
Yeah, it's
cute.
your speed.
Okay.
I could
Now,
use a
what's the name
shot
of
in
this
mine,
one?
but it's the Gallo Sweet Apple.
Oh,
It's a very,
apple.
very subtle,
Apple.
very lightweight.
Apple. And of course, I got me an amazing birthday cake. Anybody know me, they know I'm a sweet girl. I love sweets. Listen, I think this was just so nice and so thoughtful. This is what I always talk about, girl power, coming together, learning your friends, learning people you love, learning things that they like. It's always just a simple thing. People always feel like everything has to be so much, to
Right.
show your love or your affection. Like we talked about on the last podcast that we was talking about, like, affection is, given differently. And to me, this is friendship affection to me. You know what I'm saying? This is enough for me. Wings, something I
Hmm.
love, cake, a thought of how you even put it together as far as like even seeing what I'm doing, believing in me, and just showing me that you also believing in me. You knew that I don't really drink, but you knew to get it simple. Apple tastes so good. You learned I'm a cake girl. I like junk. So you all right with me.
For me, it's
Listen.
the small things. It's the very small things that go further. than how much you spend or this, that, and the third. So for me, it's the small things, and I like to do stuff from the heart. So, and I'm a foodie, so we always going to eat. We always going to eat good.
And you know what's so funny, y'all? Because Simone has been fighting me, but not fighting me in a bad way about Virgos. She been fighting me about Virgos. But one thing I can say is that for her to, you know, be around me, this type of Virgo, as I told her, most of us Virgos are very, very sweet. I do know some Virgos can be shady. I do have a little shadiness with me when I feel like it, or if it needs to
We
be.
all do though.
Yeah. So, but for the most part, listen, Virgos, I'm trying to hold on to us and represent us, because I'm telling you,
Y'all are right though. I have to interject a little bit. You
okay,
guys are all right. You guys are not bad as a whole.
okay,
The female versus male dynamic is a little bit different, and then later on we could break it down if we want to really, really, really get into the signs and the
okay.
zodiac and stuff. But I'm around Virgos. I attract Virgos.
Mm,
I attract whether they're female or males. Most of my time is spent with Virgos.
mm-hmm,
All the time. I might talk to 2 or 3 of you guys a day,
mm-hmm.
but
And
most
I
of my
gotta
friends
compliment
are.
you on your jacket.
Oh, I did that too.
That is
That was
really
me too.
cute.
Oh, thank
And
you.
look how we coordinated. We came in with the
Absolutely.
green.
Yes, yes,
Ooh,
yes, and
look.
that's my
And
favorite
guess what?
color.
I wanted to wear green because I heard Simone say green is her favorite color. So I say,
Absolutely.
you know what? I'm going to put on green today, and I'm going to represent green for Simone. And look, she threw in her little green today. So we are cute.
Absolutely, and I
Okay,
had
I
to
see
rep
what
for
you
my
did there.
Seahawks because we beat them Saints 44 whatever, but we
Okay.
beat them Saints this
Okay.
week, so I had to rep my
Oh, I see it.
squad.
I see the
Absolutely.
Seahawks. Oh, that's real cute. So you
Oh,
put that
thank you.
together yourself?
Absolutely, I did this a
Very
couple of years ago.
okay. Nice, nice. Very creative. Very
Thank you.
drama. Simple. Nice. Ooh.
Remember
Okay.
when I made the hairdress for Ja that you wanted?
Mhm. Mhm.
That's still
Oh,
around.
okay.
That's still
Okay.
around. We might have a
Okay.
surprise for you later, later, later. That's still
Wow. So
around.
at least I know when I go on stage and I do some shows and I want some diamonds and some cuts and something to bling and
Yeah,
glam me up a little bit. I already know you're that girl for
I could do
that.
that. I could do that.
Okay.
I like doing that. It's
Okay.
therapy for me.
Oh, okay. So look at that. Look at
Yes, and I
that.
be
See how
having
God
time.
connects? Yes,
Absolutely.
look at that. Well, thank you so much for that, my special co-host. But of course, we're going to get into our topic
Absolutely.
today. We are here. Of course, I wanted to talk about it because I felt like, turning a milestone again, age, which is 49. I wanted to talk about basically just how I've been coming into understanding the older you get through life experience, you start to realize what you can't tolerate, what you won't
Yes.
tolerate. Um, excuse me, what are some things that's unnecessary at my big age to tolerate from people or from people to tolerate from me?
Right.
From people to tolerate from me too, and I just feel like, the older you get, not only by age, but I think it comes with the more mature you become and the more wiser you become. Because when I look back at certain situations with just things that I've tolerated and deal with, through life and getting older, sometimes, life just goes so quick. You're not really focused. You're not really tapped in so much with yourself. And the older you get, you start to get tapped in more with yourself. And I think you start to realize what you need to tap in more about yourself because you start to learn what you can't tolerate anymore or what you won't accept,
I agree.
anymore. And, even talking to someone older and wiser than me, at almost 80 years old, she even told me, she said, listen, you're always going to be learning. The older you get, you're always going to learn something. So the bucks don't stop there. The more God blesses you to be on this earth, the more you will, get wisdom and knowledge and understanding, what just doesn't work for you anymore.
And that comes with maturity and as you get to know yourself and other people and what you would tolerate.
Now, have you found anything in particular that you would say from your early 40s? Because I know you about to be blessed with a
Hmm.
50th birthday that you're going to be getting together. That's coming up right around the corner. So I know you have a few things on your 40 bucket that you feel like you've experienced, you no longer wants to tolerate. Um, you just feel like you're at that space, not completely, but just at that space where you've even learned some things about yourself and some things you don't want people to have to tolerate from you and vice versa. Is there anything that you can, talk about? Like, as far as, do you have any experience that you have came up with or?
Well, I have a lot of them. I have a lot of them, and we need more than an hour. But as I get older, I just have zero tolerance for a lot of different things. I know we can say common sense is not so common. It's just so on a day-to-day basis, because I know that common sense is not so common for most people. I meet people where they are. And it helps me keep my stress levels down, and it just helps me get through my day a lot easier versus just worrying about this and worrying about that. I'm always a work in progress, and then I could be a firecracker too. So, people don't always have to deal with that side of it, my firecrackerness, and I learned to tone that down a little bit too. But in the same token, I have zero tolerance for just stupidity, just dumb stuff, and just like, did you really think about that? So going forward, I try to meet people where they are, and then if they're not where I'm at, then it's just, it's easy to just let people go. And I hope they do the same with me. If I'm not, meeting their capabilities or their requirements, they can do the same with me. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, because you know what? I was having this conversation with somebody and we was just talking about the difference, how, people change up, switch up and just do different things now in life. And I'm at this point, like you said, I'm willing to meet people where they are at, because there was a time when I used to sit back and try to think and try to figure out like what happened, what just went on, what just. But I have been taught that sometimes nothing happened. Sometimes people just want to do things how they want to do things. Sometimes people
Absolutely.
just want to do you, a certain way. Sometimes people just want to be who they are as people. And what we have to learn is that once we realize that it's okay for us to move on without even addressing a lot of things. And I say that to say, because some of the things that I have experienced taught me what I will no longer tolerate to a
Absolutely.
certain extent.
Now, it depends on the person and where they are in your life, whether you walk away without, discussing it or not. And then some things, when you just know who people are and
Yeah.
how it's going to be received, it's like, do I waste the energy? But communication is key. And I find that in our culture, that's the hardest thing for people to do is to communicate. So if we can learn to communicate, then maybe it won't be so bad in certain situations. But then some things are so exhausting. It's just like, oh, not today. Or
And
girl,
and
bye.
and even when we're talking about communication, just like you said, communication can be very simple, very soft, very easygoing. But I think sometimes people just feel like, oh, we're gonna skip that part and we're gonna get right to there. And I've learned in my life where some of those things that I'm saying I no longer want to tolerate, because I have dealt with certain situations where I have let things go and or just try to understand what was going on, and then we jump right back into like where we kind of left off. And I don't want to do that no more without having a conversation, because I feel like as an adult and as the age that we are at, and if we are and have certain relationships with people, there should be a conversation.
Absolutely.
And I
But they
guess,
have to be open to it. See,
right,
it goes both ways. You
right,
can be at a age does not mean maturity.
right,
So it all depends on the mindset of the person first and foremost. You may be at an age where you say, okay, let's talk about it, and we can easily get past it. That other person might not feel so,
right,
might not feel the same way. So in the same token, you have to, and that's again meeting them where they are, when you know the mindset, you know how they think, and it's just like some things can be very, very exhausting. Do you deserve to go through that because they're
right,
not where you are?
right,
So some things is like you have to really, really contemplate. Is it worth my time? Is it worth my energy?
right.
You know what I mean?
And
And
that's
then
and that's the thing where it comes with age, where I feel like I am. I don't want to meet somebody where I feel like they are not where I'm at this age. You know, I
And
mean,
you don't
it's
have
just no
to.
shade, and that is things that I'm learning that I don't have to
Nope, you don't have to. You
tolerate.
don't
You know what
have
I'm
that
saying? And it's
obligation
nothing
to
against
anyone.
anybody if they're not there, but I just think now I am choosing to
Choose
not
you.
still meet people back there anymore. You know?
Absolutely. Well,
Um, I'm sorry. Thank you all for watching. We have my mom, Deborah Reynolds. We got Aunt Patricia Miles. We got Tasha, Lovable Phillips. Of course, we have my Uncle Reggie. There's some other names up here, but I told y'all for some reason the names go, some of the name repeat itself, which is always my mom name. Um, Up here, and I know her name is always repeating like that because she's such my guardian angel on earth with me. So I know this is why her sweet little name always pops up. But Ma, your name is up here like 20 times, so I'm sure it's other people. So I'm sorry for whoever name I can't see, but thank you all for tuning in. But Tasha said you get one time to play in my face. I won't give a second chance no more. I just walk away silently and never return any situation. And you know what, Tasha? Hey, Natasha Allen Goodwin, for Tasha Lovable Phillip,
another Virgo.
another Virgo. I feel you because you know what? I used to be in that place of where she was like how she say people, well, how she say you get one time.
Yeah.
See, it's always been a more than one time for me. And I try not to get there because I know that I can be that part of the Virgo and get very silenced and completely walk
But for
away.
her too, she's
Yeah.
there now.
Yeah, yeah.
She's there now, and
Yeah.
I overstand her situation
Right.
because what I learned about some of you guys, some of the females, you guys could be really, really sweethearts and give just like a little bit too much, and I find that to be about my good girlfriend
Yeah,
Tasha.
yeah.
She's very loving and she's very giving, so I'm glad she's in that space now, just one time and one time only.
And you know what? The thing is too, I like that because most people who do know us and know the type of people that we are, they are happy that we are in that space because they know that we can really stretch ourselves so far with being so open and just allowing certain people and things to play in our people to play in our face a certain kind of way. And to me it becomes like a disrespect. It becomes
Yes,
to feel like,
blatantly,
you know,
yes.
like, oh, I can just do that to them. And that's why I was saying where I'm at now, I don't really want to accept anybody that feels that they can just do certain things to me. Now, I
Right.
can forgive some things, but when I feel like you could sit on that about me, that's something different.
Right.
So that's, that's something different for me. And like I said before, I wasn't tapped into, you know, even paying attention to that. But I've have also learned about me too because I can have a very soft side to me. I can be very open. I can be very understanding. I can be one of those people and friends to someone who just kind of just go past a lot of stuff, and not really tapped into like how things is going or not really make a big deal about it and be okay about it. And I've learned with that, just like anybody else, when people get to realize how they can do you, some people unfortunately don't mind doing that to you.
Absolutely.
And I just don't want to be in that space because I now know myself, the type of person that I am, the things that can really allow people to be a certain type of way with me just because of who I am. And I'm just learning that just about myself though, without these last, few years, like just the type of person that I am. So I'm kind of glad that I've now tapped into understanding me, because I wasn't understanding me. When I sit down and I think about stuff and I realize certain situations and I'm like, well, it's really not too much people you could blame. It's really you.
Absolutely, it's
Because
what you put
sometimes
up
if you
with.
allow people to do certain things and rather, you made it an open door for them to do it, unfortunately, everybody not going to take the time and say, no, I'm not going to do that.
Absolutely.
Some people are going to run through it. They're going to run through it. They're going to run through it and do it and do it. So I'm just at a place now where I want people to think
Absolutely.
how they treat me. Because that's what I that's what I have done majority of my lifetime. You know, I've always tried to treat people the way I wanted to be treated.
The
You know what I'm
golden
saying?
rule.
And then I do understand that everything about me, you're not going to get it from everybody. But for me to be able to decide now and know what I want, I do want to come across people that think before they do certain things when it comes to me.
Well, God bless you, because that's not going to be everybody.
I know not everybody. I know not everybody, but now that I have realized, my issue, because I don't want to be out here just cussing people out every minute.
Yeah,
I don't want to be, and we living in a world where it's like every minute you might gotta cuss somebody out because, like you said, common sense just ain't common sense.
Oh, I'm Miss Sophia. For years, I always say, every day of my life, I got to fight. I'll be so tired. To where now, as long as, I take my medication, I do good. There's no homicides committed. So everybody is good in the world, and I just walk away. I've learned to just walk away. What's not for me is just not for me. And I don't entertain it anymore. And it just helps me, stay sane. Because mental health is real.
Yeah.
And you just never know when you're going to have that moment where that switch go off, and then the wrong person might get what's coming from everybody else. So
And you know
at
what?
some point in time, you have to learn to deal with you, walk away, and just be like, peace.
Yeah. And you know what? It's sad because it's like we are living in a world where, we all have to understand that mentally everybody is dealing with some kind of
Something.
pressure.
We live in life. We
Yes.
life it. Everybody
Yes.
life it.
Everybody is kind of just trying to like cope with something, or some days you don't know how you gonna feel, how you gonna flip, how you might switch. I've seen where people was one way one day and the next day just pretty much don't even know what day it is. So it is serious how people mind can really get very overexhausted, overwhelmed, from feeling misused, misabused, tired. And these were the things that, growing up, unfortunately, I'm not going to say we, because I don't know if it's we, but it's probably we, I'm sure, or we didn't see a lot of this stuff coming, I mean, I didn't, because, you figure, okay, you look at your childhood, you look at you growing up, you doing things, you out, you partying, you having your friends, you getting your apartments, you having your cars, you getting your first job. I don't know. I think you really start to learn life can start kicking your butt in the 30s somewhat, depending on your life.
I guess
Depending on your life.
For me, it would be more so of how you pay attention to people, because people are who they are.
Yeah.
Can people change? Yes, they can, but they are who they are, and they show you who they are. Now, who you choose to deal with is one thing, and what you choose to overlook is also, because you see something else in that person. But most people really show you who they are. That's what I've learned about others, and we do too. We show people who we are, and some things we choose to tolerate.
Yeah.
Versus not, for whatever the reason is. If you just want to be in their company, or if you feel like their good outweighs their bad, whatever the situation is. But I think people do show their hand, and then it's just you choosing to, not to dead it or whatever the case may be.
But the trick part is that even with people showing their hands and showing you who they are, you have to pay attention to who you are first.
Absolutely.
And a lot of us, to be honest, not that we don't know who we are, but somewhat you don't know who you are. When you are living in that space where you are tolerating things. And like I said, it could be because of age, because of maturity, because you're growing into maturity, because you're getting older and you're thinking wiser. It could be because of experience that now taught you to, look at things, because we still have people that's older than us that still have tolerated or still haven't fully tapped into their self to realize what they shouldn't have tolerated or should tolerate it. So, it's so tricky. We all do want to stand on saying, oh, we knew better, or, or all you have to do is look at something and figure things out. But you could be looking at something and not figuring stuff out because you haven't figured your own self out.
Well, and some people, when you say that, it's also the mindset of the person also, because if they can't take accountability on their own
Yeah.
actions, and then some people,
Yeah.
deal with egos and
Yeah.
stuff of that
Yeah.
nature, then they see no wrong. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, when it comes to learning yourself comes with taking
Yeah.
accountability for your actions, your
Yeah.
rights, your wrongs, your
Yeah.
indifferences,
Yeah.
everything. And
Yeah.
if you can't take accountability,
Yeah.
then you're never going to see
Yeah.
anything. It's never going to be no growth. There's never going to be no maturity. And when you see that in another person, that's what
Right.
I mean by meeting them where they are, or choosing to deal with them or not to deal with them.
Yeah, and that's a very straight point too. First of all, we as people we have to take accountability. Even
Exactly.
by me talking about some of the experience that I've experienced or I've came across and I've dealt with, I don't blame a lot of situations that I came across. I have to take accountability of just what I wasn't tapped into, what I allowed,
Exactly.
what I still let exist, what I, allowed to let go on. Some things I probably was just very blah of not really understanding because I know too, sometimes when you have a certain kind of heart, or how you are with people, um, sometimes you're not thinking about taking accountability. You thinking you're just doing you're doing what you need to do at that time. But sometimes when you get kind of just, what's the word I want to say, when you kind of just get caught off guard to some things that you really realize you accepted, then you have to be like, you know what, I got to take accountability because I wasn't paying attention. But I do believe that's very true. A lot of people are stuck because they don't want to take accountability. And until you're able to really take accountability for like your trials, your tribulations, the things you've been through, the things you allowed yourself to go through, you're
The things
never
you
gonna.
ignited.
Yeah.
Some things is not always the other person.
Right.
Some things, you ignite. When we going through certain things, you'd be surprised. They always say it's the person closest to you, and it's like you feed that. You feed the fuel, the fire, everything, and you start things too. Some people can't take accountability to see where they may have created this
Yeah.
problem,
Yeah.
and then how it just woo.
Yeah.
Just blew up.
Yeah.
So accountability, it has to start there with everyone in order to grow. If not, then it's just like, okay, we can't grow together, then maybe we just gonna grow apart.
And that's in all situations, friendships, relationships,
All ships.
just yes, all ships. Yes, but that was cool. Anybody would like to call in? The phone lines is open, 862-621-9536. Feel free to call in. Tasha says support requires support. I can't keep supporting you and you never supported me once. Support is more than my hobby or job. You should support me mentally just by checking in. I do agree. But you know what?
Absolutely.
We don't have those check-in peoples anymore like that, Tasha, unfortunately. And then those who you do have somebody like me who is a check-in, who tries to tap in, who tries to, do some of those things with people or have just tried to touch base or do certain things like that. Some people don't want it, and that's where I had to learn too. Sometimes you got to let people stay with what they used to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Tasha, it's always like it could be the opposite sometimes. I mean, I definitely get what you're going to. Clock that accountability tick. Clook, clook. I know that's right. Yes, Tasha is a Virgo.
Yeah, she is.
Yes, she is.
9:15.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Tasha's a sweet girl. I met Tasha on the runway.
I'm sure. I was about to say that. I'm sure.
I've seen
And
Tasha do damage on the runway.
And you'll see her at my birthday.
Very, very sharp at what she does. Yeah, shout out to you, Tasha. You go, girl. My Virgo sister. Yes, but yes, accountability is a major thing that I feel like people, don't really tune into. But yeah, at this age, at this big age that I am now, I'm just thankful that I have learned how to grow mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially. You know, I'm loving at this age that I have been getting tapped into myself to kind of really pay attention more now of what needs to be paid, attention to. Because I feel like when you young, you got kids, you kind of running with your kids and doing things, and you're getting in different relationships, and you're working, and you're doing so much, you can't really fully tap into yourself. Some of us parents, especially if you came from like being a single parent,
Right.
I feel like some of us who started out there in those early 90s, having us a good time. I think these 2020s has set us down, not too much
Mm.
physically but mentally, has set
Mm.
us down to like, really pay attention to more what we have been like dealing with, and coming across to where as though we're now able to sit here before we in our 50s and say we realized a lot of things, not only about other people but ourselves. And one of the major thing, like you said, was the taking accountability, which plays a major part in our lives. We are now grandmoms. Our children
Absolutely.
are, you know, grown and doing their things. And now it's time for us to be getting ready to sit down and hear their conversations. Want to
Mm.
figure out, at this adulthood, what they're facing. Because I feel like from us growing up to now with our children, it could be very, very difficult. I see so many young children or younger, some of the younger generation, who have now, got caught up in the rapture of addiction, and just,
It's sad.
yeah,
My heart goes out to them when I see them, especially the young ones.
yeah,
The young ones is really really sad.
yeah. It's just, and see, like I said, even things like this growing up, I don't think we've ever really seen so much of the younger generation around our ages like getting tapped into drugs.
No, not when we was younger. As we got
Yeah,
older, we might have seen an increase of the different age groups. Because I remember seeing a couple who had a struggle back then, but not it's not as rampant as you see now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's more like it's kind of like a sad thing, to see, especially when you see like your generation of people. And and I think a lot of it too is, like us, like we said, people are going through a lot of mental struggles.
And then some people
It's
just
not
don't have
easy.
people to help them get through it, and then you just never know what their malfunction or dysfunction was. And a lot of things is hard, really, really hard to come back
Yeah,
from. Because who life, you could be going through life, and some days you just got to take each day, day by day, not to, some people,
yeah,
they're at their wits' end with it. It's hard. Some people live in paycheck to paycheck, so things can get really, really ugly real fast, and they lose it. What was that Tyler Perry movie? I mean, it was a lot going on with Taraji. What's the name of that?
hmm, with Taraji.
It's something recent that came out not too long ago. I think it was either early this
Oh, the
year.
one with the bank robbery and stuff.
Was it that? I know it
Yeah,
was.
when
Her
she
son had died, and she was a little bit delusional or something.
yeah,
It went
and
through the
she
whole
went, and
movie.
well, she didn't rob the bank, but she
Right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
her
That's what
mind had
happened.
kind of just,
And it's funny, a lot happened in that one day, and we know that might not be the reality of somebody going through something like that all in one day, but it's the reality of these things can occur.
mhm,
Because at the end, once we watched the end of that movie, we saw how delusional she was
mhm,
because of a traumatic experience.
mhm,
So just imagine that being you and not be able to come back from
yeah,
something, and
yeah,
then not have the support to help you get through it also.
yeah.
So, you have a lot of people that's out here dealing with mental health, stress, all types of things, and they just don't know how to cope with it. So then this is where the addiction and stuff comes in because they feel like, that temporary fix.
Right. And that's why I was saying, like, even with this topic, as far as just, understanding what you're going to tolerate, that's why I was saying, I'm wondering, do people um, get into understanding themselves by experience, or is it an age thing, or is it just when, you matured? Because,
I won't say age because I know some grown people that act like young people. So no, I won't say age. I just feel like it depends on what a person
Experience.
goes through, experience, and what they go through in their life to say, okay, now is the time for me to be a better me.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
some people never come around to it. Some people don't have a conscience. They don't believe in karma. They just don't they just go through life in the way they choose, the way they see fit, and
Mm-hmm.
they not worried or concerned about what may come back to them or their loved ones.
Mm-hmm. So I guess age is not it,
No,
as
I
you
wouldn't
said.
say age. No, I know some grown people that
No. So maybe it's life experience. But I know sometimes too, I guess with life experience, that's why we got to catch it. We got to catch it early when we can, if we can. And I feel like there's so much now versus before that we didn't have where we're able to see, certain situations. It's like the internet is good, but the internet is bad. But because we are able to see how things could drastically change in a moment, even mentally, and it kind of helps us to be able to figure out how can we pull ourselves up, or what other options that we have versus before when we weren't able to see some of these things in front of our face. But then I feel like it's kind of bad because some people see so much in front of their face of what's going on now that can actually take them to another mental place too, because there's so much that we do see now on the internet that can be very distracting. But like you said, sometimes you take your break from it. Most of the time with me, I'm already up on social media because, just a lot of the promoting things I do. I know my platform is more of me just, kind of just sharing my personality, not my
right.
life, but my personality, you know, um, up
Well, you
there.
need that social media
Yeah.
presence for where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
So you absolutely need that, and a lot of people, not only do you need it for your craft and what you're trying to build, but you're you're a comedian.
Mhm.
So those people need those laughs on a daily basis. You probably don't know how many people you may reach out to and touch who may be having a bad day, and they may see something that may have took them out of that moment just for a
Yeah.
minute or a second,
Yeah.
and they may have gotten back to it, but you don't know how you may have brightened their day just in that moment, or even just distracted them for the rest of the day. So um you and your craft is needed. So keep doing what you do, because you may be helping somebody who may not, give you the
Oh
credit for it,
yeah.
but you just be surprised.
I'm sure there's, one thing I will say, there's people who have reached out, inboxed, or when they see me, they be like, girl, you just don't know. Sometimes I go to your page personally just to look for, some type of laughter in my life. So
Hmm.
I do appreciate when, I do feel that, me doing what I do most of the time and people who are connected with me. I love the fact where I could take them to another place, even if they are going, through something. It's so crazy because with me being a comedian, which we will have to get on another topic, um, what's so crazy? I don't find a lot of things funny.
Well, that last show you did.
Oh yeah,
That
well,
last show you did.
you know what? That's another thing. I'm starting to tap in with me even on a
And
stage
I
more.
saw the growth as a host and then as being featured.
Mhm.
And both were equally as funny, but as the host, and that moment, when I saw that moment, and then I talked to your girlfriend about it, and
Mhm.
that was your moment.
Mhm.
You that was a very, and I can't, I said it to you 1,000 times
Mhm.
already. Since that show, that was a very, very good show. You did very, very well as the host. And the last guy was good, but I think you kept us going throughout the whole entire show.
And that's my goal. That's also too the goal as a
Hmm.
host. To me, a host is a heavier job because it's like you gotta try to continue to keep the energy in the building. And I think with me, because I love energy and I love having a good time with people. Sometimes it's not easy, but it makes it feel easy sometimes because that's what I enjoy doing too, and I love feeling like myself too, that everybody is having a good time and just enjoying not just me, but just the vibe of what's going
So let
on.
me ask this because you definitely rep for your city that night. Now, were you comfortable because you knew the crowd because it was your hometown and it just made it easier for you, or was that just your night?
Um, to me, any show I do, as long as they are able to bring the energy
And
in with me,
engage. Okay.
like as far as music, or I just see, people there coming in with the energy, looking to have a good time, it's easy for me to kind of flow. Now,
Okay.
if there's a place that I go to and the crowd just doesn't look like they're there with the energy, as long as I have a DJ that can bring in the energy with me, I could kind of open
Got
up
it.
the crowd too, because every room is not going to bring you that energy.
Mhm.
And I don't think all the time it's purposely. I just think because some people are so afraid of comedy, sometimes they don't know what to expect. And that's why I always try to tell my people, with me doing comedy, like, I'm not the comedian that really needs the crowd to make jokes. I come with my own personal jokes because my life is just comical. I look at some of the things that we do as overall people that's like very comical and can just bring the humor,
Right.
to it. And I always try to tell my comedians, most of the time, like, if you are going to interact with the crowd, make sure it's like having a good time with the crowd.
Right.
I know I can't make everybody feel comfortable, but I do like to address certain things because, like I said, for me, I know what I like to bring in the energy of a room that I'm hosting. So I just hope that, most of the time when the comedians come, they follow the lead. It's all about energy. It's all about a good time. It's not about hurting anybody's feelings. It's not about making anybody feel embarrassed.
Right.
I don't really connect with that as comedy.
Hmm.
Now, if you say a joke that everybody can relate to, even if it sound like it could be like, oh crap, but you could be like, oh crap, I could see that.
Right.
I could deal with those, I could deal with that sense of humor. But I do love the fact of me having a room now in Patterson, because a lot of people who do follow me and love to come out to see me, sometimes they can't get to a lot of shows when I am,
Right.
other places. And I feel like my city need it. I feel like my age group and other people need some of that with some of the tough stuff that we're just dealing with,
Hmm.
in the city. So once again, if I could be that person to break some of that ice for people, I don't mind doing it because I know what we need. I come from here. Everybody may look at me like, "Oh, I got this big great sense of humor." I do, but I still understand my people. I understand my city where I'm from. I understand what we go through, what we've been through. Just because I'm on the stage making people laugh doesn't mean I don't have experience.
Absolutely.
So that's the joy of it that I get to. So even on that note, for those who's watching, every first and third Wednesday of the month, I am bringing comedy to the Shade Room at the Integrity Lounge. Thank you for that, Marv. At the Integrity Lounge, aka the Masonic Temple. It will be me and two other comics in the building every first and third Wednesday of the month. It's $10. So guess what? Even if you don't laugh, you only paid $10. At least you got out and was able to have a good time with your friends. But you can't beat $10 of comedy. But it's $10. Doors open at 6. Showtime is at 7. And I even tried to get it on an early pace because I know it is a weekday and I know people still want to get back in and go home, and it's another work day. But listen, if you watching, come on out to the Shade Room Comedy in Patterson. Like I said, 224 Broadway at the Masonic Temple, aka the Integrity Room. The next show will be October the 1st. Doors open at 6. Showtime is at 7 p.m. Hosted by your girl Miss Shade. I'm trying to bring some funny to the city. I'm trying to represent for my city. I know some of my people from my city always say they can't come out, they can't make it certain places. So I'm praying that we continue to have some great funny nights and some great energy in the room, like I've been bringing to the event. So make sure y'all come out. Make sure y'all come out I hate to say support, cause
Come out and have a good time.
yeah, come out and have a
Come out
good
for
time.
you, not necessarily. It'll be
Yeah.
support, but come out just to have a good
Yeah,
time. I
come out
had
and
a
have a good
great time the
time.
last few
Yeah,
shows
bring
that
your
I was at.
friends.
Just come out to, for you.
Yeah,
And if you don't like
celebrate
it
your
the next time, then
birthday.
don't.
Listen, we can celebrate everything. We can celebrate birthdays. We can celebrate breakups. We could celebrate makeups. We could celebrate whatever it is that, whoever is going through. You just walked off your job 5 minutes ago, earlier that day, and you're not going back. Whatever it is you want to celebrate, let's celebrate it. You hung up on your boyfriend today, your girlfriend today, and they still texting you and they did, you still didn't respond. Let's celebrate to it all. See, that's the kind of, comedy I like to bring in. Fun, reality, good stuff that it's really going on. But listen, we want to thank y'all for tuning in with us tonight on Shady Talk Wednesday, with my lovely host, Simone. We're always open for topics. You can either inbox me, inbox her if you want us to bring up a topic on this show. We don't have to say who sent us the topic. We could just bring it up. We just come up here most of the time rambling. We try to, bring up a topic that, could be relatable for all of us, females, male, it doesn't matter. But if you have something that's on your mind, on your heart, or something you just feel like, it's just something that is relatable, feel free. You can also email me at Ms. with the Z, Ms. No Shade But Shade at gmail.com at all. Or like I said, our inboxes, our DMs on Instagram is always open. Also, follow my Shady Entertainment 920 page on Instagram. That's going to be where all the entertainment will be at that I'm doing, where I'll be at shows and stuff like that. Just in case you missed the last one, you could catch the next one. Or however, but listen, 49 catching up. See how my brain is slipping? 49 catching up. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Shady Talk Wednesday. YouTube, stay in tune with us, stay tapped in with us. We're going to have more fun shows, more crazy conversation. It's going to get crazy. We light on y'all now. We taking it light now. But when that fall will really get here, baby, we gonna have some crazy stuff going on up here. And listen, we already gonna tell y'all, no shade but shade, but it's gonna get a little crazy because it's gonna be a lot of girl talk going on up here. And fellas, listen, we open to invite you on the couch too. Y'all want to come chit chat, talk, sit in the seat? We are open for you, and we are open for guests. So until the next time, thank you so much for tuning in with us on Shady Talk Wednesday. Thank you all for all the birthday wishes. And I pray for each and every one of you every day that everyone is well, everyone will continue to be good, and God will continue to cover you and us all. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night.